Welcome to Making Memoir Magic, the podcast where we unlock the power of your story and guide you through the magical process of turning life experiences into memoirs that inspire and impact. I'm your host, Kerry, a memoir mentor and storytelling champion, and I'm here to help you find the courage to embrace your unique story and share it with the world. Whether you're just starting out or refining your final draft, this is the place to be for practical tips, inspiration, and the encouragement you need to write the memoir only you can tell. Ready to make some magic? Let's dive in. Hey there and welcome. I'm Kerry, author, mentor, and someone who knows what it feels like to live life beside the spotlight before finally stepping into it. When we sit down to write a memoir, we have an intention. We write to make sense of things, to preserve memories, to find our voice, to honor someone or something. But we also write with deep hope and maybe even a silent prayer that what we've lived through, learned from, and survived will matter to someone else. That's part of what I talked about in the Memoir Blueprint, my recent free masterclass. In it, I shared a 3-step framework for writing a powerful, purposeful memoir. And one of those steps is this: knowing who you're writing for. So if you attended my masterclass, I want to thank you, first of all, and I really hope that you enjoyed it. And I think you're going to remember what I'm going to talk about, but I'm also going to expand on that concept of knowing who you're writing for and where the power lies in that when you're writing memoir. Because here's the truth. You never know who's going to pick up your book, and you never know what they'll take from it. What line they'll underline, what scene will crack them wide open, what story will feel like their own. And today, I want to share something unexpected, what I learned after publishing my memoir. Not what I thought people would take from it, but what they did. Okay, so thankfully, I've gotten feedback, not only in reviews, but in conversations. People who've stopped me in the store and reminded me or let me know that they read my book. And first of all, that feels really good. But to truly hear what it meant to someone and what they received from it, that is the real gift. And that is something that was unexpected. So I have 7 lessons, and I didn't set out to teach them. It's just what I've gleaned from publishing my book. And it's almost 4 years old. Well, it'll be 4 years old in October. That's my anniversary of publishing my book. So it's at least 3.5 years old. It's been out there a while. And there's some consistencies in what I hear from people. But that's where these 7 lessons come from. These 7 lessons have become the quiet impact of my book, Accidental First Lady. And I believe your memoir, too, will have ripple effects beyond what you can even imagine. So let's dive into these takeaways and learn why your story holds the same kind of power. So, lesson 1, you don't have to be the loudest voice to be heard. I spent over 2 decades supporting a man in public office. Most of my influence happened behind closed doors, in the kitchen, in the car, late night talks, strategy sessions whispered between diaper changes, and yes, our kids were that young when this started, or dinner plans. And I've heard from so many readers who've said, "You made me realize I don't have to scream to matter." Power can be soft. It can be steady. It can wear a dress and heels and still get things done without raising its voice. If you've ever felt invisible, know this: your quiet strength is still strength. So, lesson 2, supporting someone else's dream doesn't mean losing your own. Now, this one took me a little bit, but everything is a journey, right? And this one hit hard because for a long time, I did what women have done for centuries. I stood behind, beside, and beneath someone else's vision. And that was okay until it wasn't. Readers have told me, "You helped me realize I've been shrinking." And guess what? Shrinking is not noble. Supporting someone you love is beautiful, but your dreams deserve a seat at the table too. Even if it's late, even if it's messy, even if it starts with one page in a journal. Lesson 3. Private battles deserve as much honor as public victories. We cheer for campaign wins, for job promotions, for medals and milestones, but no one throws a parade when you get a biopsy, or when you hold your family together with frayed strings, or when you lose yourself for the sake of someone else's survival. In Accidental First Lady, I wrote about my cancer, about doubt, about the parts of life no one claps for. And that's what resonated the most. Your private pain deserves to be witnessed, not just survived. Lesson 4. Resentment is a signal, not a character flaw. This one, let me tell you, the guilt, sometimes the shame, the voice that says you should be grateful. Here I was. At times I was a stay-at-home mom, and that was a choice. And it was a choice that we were privileged to be able to make. And I don't regret that choice, but I felt like that because I was able to do that, I should be happy and content with every other part of my life. You should be grateful. That is a mantra that hung and rang in my ears constantly. I postponed certain joy and achievements and ambition, if you will, because I felt like this is my job. My job is to support, behind, beside, beneath, all of those things. You should be grateful. So here's the deal. Resentment is data. It tells us where our boundaries have failed, where our needs are going unmet. It doesn't mean we're bad. It means we've been silent for too long. Writing a little bit in my book about resentment gave my readers permission to name their own. And sometimes naming something is the first step to healing it. Lesson 5. Reinvention is always on the ballot. You don't need a crisis to start over. You don't need someone else's permission to pivot. You don't even need a perfect plan. I've had readers tell me they decided to leave jobs, start businesses, or pick up writing again just from reading about my journey to becoming a published author later in life. I was 53 when my book was published. And there's plenty of people who have had multiple books out in their 30s, and there's some who are just starting at age 70 or older. So it's never too late. It's always the right time. And if this is something on your mind and in your heart, then you should definitely do it. But I want you to know, if this is where you are, midlife is not a dead end. That's where I am. It's a starting line. You are always allowed to become someone new. Lesson 6. Boundaries are acts of love, not rebellion. Now, this was a tough one to learn because when you're the peacekeeper, the helper, the one everyone counts on, it feels unnatural to say no. But what I discovered and what readers echoed is that boundaries aren't a rejection. They're a declaration that says, I matter too. Lesson 7, and the one that I tell everyone who even talks to me about writing a book. And if we've met in real life or you followed me at any time on social media, then you know what I'm about to say, I think. It's that your story is worth telling, even if you didn't ask for the spotlight. I didn't seek the spotlight, but I found my way into it, and I chose not to dim myself anymore. You may not be a politician or a public figure or anyone with a quote platform, but you have a story that could change someone's life, maybe even save it. So don't wait for someone to hand you a microphone. Pick up the pen. Your memoir, too, will hold golden nuggets. Your readers will find wisdom in places you didn't expect. That's what makes memoir magic. It's not just your story, it's theirs, too. Memoirs can inspire, educate, and entertain. It's not just an act of writing, it's an act of service, an act of bravery. And yes, it'll demand your blood, sweat, and tears, but it'll give you back clarity, healing, and purpose. Now, if you missed the Memoir Blueprint Masterclass, don't worry. The most important thing I want you to know is this: you don't have to do it alone. Writing a memoir is overwhelming, but having a roadmap makes all the difference. Having someone who's been there, who's walked through doubt, through deadlines, through fear, and come out with a finished book, that's me. I wasn't famous. I was just a woman who decided to tell her story, and now I teach others to do the same. And that's why I created my course, Make Memoir Magic. It's a step by step, supportive, no fluff memoir course for aspiring authors. And my students get 4 self paced modules, 16 lessons within all of those modules, live weekly coaching with me, real time feedback on your writing within that live coaching, a framework to take your story from idea to finished manuscript, and a community of people cheering you on. And right now, you can get $200 off as part of my limited time summer discount. I know the world is tough right now. I know that trust in many areas is at an all time low. And I truly believe that self care, writing, and becoming an author, if that's what you want to do, is a form of self care. We are investing in ourselves, in telling our story. We are honoring our stories. And I want to make this as accessible as I can to you. That is why I'm giving the discount. Summer is a quieter time in many ways. Even if you are taking vacation, we're all still working, but things do slow down. We're not at the holiday season yet. And um, this is the perfect time to start writing or reignite a writing project that may have been sitting on the shelf or in a folder somewhere on your computer. So I encourage you to go to the link in my show notes, learn about Make Memoir Magic. This is your sign. Don't wait another year. Don't talk yourself out of the story that could change your life and someone else's. You can register at the link in the show notes, because you know what? You were there the whole time. You were supporting, holding it all together, making things happen in the background. This is your story. But now it's your turn to be seen, heard, and known. Memoirs are how we tell the truth about our lives and show others what's possible in theirs. So go on, tell your story. Someone out there is waiting for it, and I'd be honored to help you write it. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Making Memoir Magic. I hope today's conversation inspired you to take the next step toward telling your unique story through memoir. Remember, your story matters, and someone out there is waiting to hear it. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. It helps others find the show. You can also connect with me at my website, kerrykreisman.com, on social media, on Instagram at Make Memoir Magic, or join my Facebook group, Making Memoir Magic for Aspiring Writers. You'll get more tips and inspiration on your memoir journey. Until next time, keep writing, keep sharing, and keep making memoir magic.